You are watching SCAC Women's Soccer Media Days. Joining us from Sherman, Texas, is the Austin College women's soccer team. Head coach Kristina Corona and Lauren Scott joining us today. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks
Coach
for having
Corona,
us.
We'll start with you. Just simply give us your expectations going into 2013.
Expectations for our 2013 season are reasonably high. It was great that we had the opportunity to have a spring season together because it really allowed us to build a foundation for this program to be set upon. One of the sayings this year is that this is a new era for women's soccer at Austin College. So there's a new way of thinking, a new way of doing things. For me, our number one expectation is just to build great team culture, instilling values and traditions, and just overall, just team chemistry is our number one priority. Technically, we want to be extremely sound on the ball. We want to be extremely skillful so we can outskill our opponents. Tactically, we want to outsmart our opponents and obviously improve our knowledge and soccer IQ. Personally, I think that going into non-conference play, our first 4 games are at home, and so what we're looking to do is enter the conference being 4-0. So, protecting our house and really having that home field advantage. In conference play, obviously, expectation-wise, we want to be a top contender in the SCAC. We're looking to challenge and to be a top 2 school in the conference, and so that entails a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of motivation, and so I think using the knowledge that I have, having had, this will be my 3rd season in the SCAC, it really just allows me to know my competitors pretty well. So looking forward to developing and obviously just growing as a team and as a unit.
Corona, you kind of just brought it up. This is your 3rd year in the SCAC. Last season with the University of Dallas, you made it to the SCAC championship, gave Trinity about all they wanted, and fell in a close match. 1-0. Tell us how that championship experience has motivated you as a coach going forward, and how that can play for the Austin College team going forward.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, having the opportunity to build a great program is my motivation. I think that as a coach, it's great for me to come in, and not that they have had bad seasons in the past. Austin College, we've had great seasons of winning in the past, and so now what we're looking for is getting back to that winning culture and that winning tradition. So having the opportunity to, really take a team to the conference championship was an amazing experience for me. It really instilled that, I do know what I'm doing, and it has built a lot of confidence and in my coaching style and my philosophies. It's just kind of put a handle on, hey, you do know what you're doing. And so I'm just using those, because I do know what works now, and being a 4th year, being my 4th season as a head coach, I know what works. And so just being able to instill the passion and the values in my team now, because I think that, through it all, I really just want them to work for me. And, I think a lot of times coaches focus too much on winning, and, they don't focus on developing the entire player. And for me, that comes first. And, winning will take care of itself once everything else is in place. So, having that experience of getting to the tournament really did, I'm a better coach from it. And so, I think that through that, my team now at Austin College, we're just looking to develop and get there, and it's totally doable. So, it's all about just motivating them and getting them to work, and they're right there
Lauren,
along with me.
I'll turn to you. Tell us some of the team goals coming into 2013, as well as some of your individual goals.
Well, individually, since I play as both a forward and a defender, my goals are to stop the ball from getting into the goal and to also score. Last season, I didn't score as much as I had wanted to because it was my first time actually playing a forward position other than freshman year. So I'm hoping to be able to score at least 10 goals this season individually. As a team, we are heading towards a winning season, hopefully. That's one of our biggest goals, and we definitely want to be in the top of the conference.
Coach Corona, I'll turn back to you. I know we still are a little early in preseason, but first game's only next weekend, so just around the corner. So tell us some individuals thus far that have stood out to you during preseason.
That's always such a difficult question for me to answer, just because I think that for me, each player plays such a different role, and each role is so significant and so important. But standout players, technically, obviously, the young lady sitting next to me, she is a true versatile player. She can play in the back, she can play up top. She has a heck of a finish. Sometimes when she scores, I'm like, what? Where'd that come from? But it's just amazing to watch her up in the final third, and I'm excited to get her up there. We have backs who are coming in, incoming players, so now we can get her back up top. So Lauren Scott, obviously going to be a senior, has great leadership on the field. Also returner-wise, Dom Martinez is going to be a junior for us. She's an outside back. With the system we're looking to play, I'm looking to get her involved as much as we can into the attack, and she is all about it. She is definitely coming fit, so that has definitely made it a lot easier for the transition of getting her into the attack, as well as Cammie. He is going to be a sophomore. She came from an ACL injury last year, so she wasn't able to play. One of the most technical players on the ball on our squad, can move all over the field as a center midfielder, distributes, moves. I mean, it's amazing to watch her play, and especially since she's one of our top and one of our most fittest kids on the team. So overall, there's quite a few players, returner-wise, that are going to make such a difference for us. Incoming-wise, we do have 7 incoming players. Each of them has done a great job in preseason, with the strains and the injuries that do happen. But, one, for instance, is Erica Williams. She's from California. She is a outside back. She is tremendously sound on the ball. She's very composed. She distributes extremely well out of the back, and she gets into the attack. So those are a couple of key players that I believe will make a difference. But, for me, each player is so important. So I think all of them will truly make a difference in our program, throughout the season.
SCAC Women's Soccer Media Days, Austin College Women's Soccer joining us this afternoon. Lauren, I come back to you. You mentioned some of the goals for yourself and for the team this season. For Austin College to attain those goals, tell me how important it is for you to emerge as a leader among your team.
Personally, I think it's really important that me being a senior, that it's important that I step up and show the younger classmen how we need to develop as a team and what they should be doing, and how being a leader really helps the team bond together strongly, because we all focus on winning, and not necessarily winning is everything. And if we have strong leaders that can step up and take the harder roles, people will see them as a good example and follow in their footsteps. And I think that's important for any team to have in order to make good plays and be a winning squad.
Corona, you kind of touched on it just a moment ago about some of the newcomers, 7 coming in. Just give us kind of as a whole what you've seen thus far from that entire class in preseason, and what's pleased you so far about this class.
The incoming have done a great job. I think it's always intimidating to come in. There's a lot of nervous energy. There's a lot of anxiety. But, from that first day, which was Monday, they've hit the ground and they've started running hard. They're catching up, and obviously, they're doing a great job fitting in. One of the greatest things about this team is that, there's no separation really between class. Each class is so open to, my seniors are hanging out with the freshmen. My freshmen are hanging out with the juniors. There's not any divisions between all 4 classes. So the upperclassmen and, returners have really done a great job to support the freshmen and to really support the incoming players and say, hey, you know what, you can do this too, So it's been a great transition to see, because a lot of times there is a lot of anxiety going into preseason, especially being an incoming player. And I think, all of the 7 have done a great job to really mesh and to really just chemistry-wise, they are fitting right in. And so looking forward to their development, not only this year, because, for us, 2013 isn't the end of our season. This is just the beginning for Austin College soccer. And so, this is just a stepping stone in the right direction for us.
To get you out on this final question, I'd love to hear from both of you on here. For Austin College to be successful in 2013, what's going to be some of the keys?
Well, from a coaching perspective, I think the keys to success are obviously being organized and knowing, what plans to or what sessions to really develop my players in. From here, being new to this program, we started at ground zero, going back to the basics, going back to, principles of attack, principles of defense. And so everyone is on the same page. So for me, coaching wise, it's all about organization and really just making sure that I'm hitting all the key points that need to be said, in sessions and in classroom sessions. Outside of that, I think that developing technically and tactically so that we're still growing. Obviously, I have a lot to learn still as a coach, being a young coach, but, working right alongside them. They're not working for me, I'm working with them. So, I think that mentality really does lead to a lot of great things in our season. So, outside of that, just developing a great work ethic, I always tell them that, regardless of what it looks like, always bring your best attitude, put your best foot forward, and treat people well. Because, not only am I developing soccer players, I'm developing young women and hopefully being a good role model for them. So, those are our keys to success. And like I said earlier, once we take care of all of those things, the winning will take care of itself.
I think that our keys to success will be just like everyone working really hard and basically pushing themselves to where they know that they are becoming a better player after every single practice. Because last year it was harder for us to be motivated when we weren't winning as many games. But now that we have a new coach and it's almost going to be like new everything for us, and we're all really excited about it, and we're all like working extremely hard every day in order to make this year be perfect almost. So I think that's going to be the major key to our success this season.
You've been watching SCAC Women's Soccer Media Days with the Austin College women's soccer team. Coach Corona, Lauren, thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck to you in 2013.
Thank you.
Thanks.
The Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference, a conference of good sports.